Hello, pre-algebra. Welcome to lesson 5.3, simple fractional equations, beginning on page 122 and going to page 124. So it's a short lesson today. So let's start with the vocabulary. You may be wondering, what is so simple about something called fractional equations? That doesn't sound so simple, Mrs. T, but trust me, it really is. Don't get too excited here. So fractional equation is simply an equation with a variable located in the denominator. So basically, it looks like our first try it, but let's go through some steps first. The first thing we're going to do is use multiplication to transform simple fractional equations into linear equations. Basically, we get rid of the denominator. Then, number 2, after solving, the solution cannot make the denominator of the original equation equal to 0, because anything with a denominator of 0, you can't divide nothing into something, so that does not work. So when you solve it, the solution cannot make the denominator of the original equation equal to 0. Something to remember. And with those two little thoughts in mind, we're going to proceed to try it 11 on page 124. So here we have it. This is a fractional equation because we have a variable in the denominator, the variable x. So we have 8 over x plus 1 equals 4. Okay, remember 4 as a number, if we would write any whole number, we can turn it easily into a fraction by putting it over 1. So now we're just going to do our crosses. So we're going to do the cross multiplying to get this x plus 1 out of the denominator position. So basically, we're just going to multiply each side by x plus 1 to eliminate it, or we do the cross multiplying. And then we get 8 equals 4 times x plus 1. So basically, when we multiply both sides, this eliminates, and we're left with 8. And then, of course, we move it over there. Now, at this point, we're going to distribute the 4 to the x and the positive 1. So we have x equals 4x plus 4. This is important. The first thing we want to do is get all of our whole numbers on one side and all of our variables on one side. There's only one variable, so all I need to do is move that over to the other side. Move this 4 to the other side. Now, what did I do here? Oh, what I did first of all is I flipped this around so that my variable will be there. Of course, at this point, I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. I'm left with 4x, because this goes away, equals 4. Of course, now I'm going to divide through by 4, and that leaves me with x equaling 1. And there you have that first example of a fractional equation. We only have one more try it to work through for this lesson, so let's go on to that. It is try it 12 at the bottom of 124. Now this time we have a situation of y over y plus 4 minus 2/3 equals 0. Now you might be wondering about that equals 0. Tell you it's all going to make sense in a minute, because we want to get rid of this part of the equation that has no variable in it in order to work towards the solution of this equation. So minus 2/3, to get this out of this position, we're going to add 2/3 to each side. When I do this, this of course goes away. A negative and a positive eliminate each other. They cancel each other out. So now I'm left with y equals y plus 4, or excuse me, y over y plus 4 equals 2/3. Again, I'm going to do those cross multiplications, or my common denominator is 3 times y plus 4, and which basically eliminates that. So I'm going to have 3y on this side And when I go 3 times y plus 4 on this side, these eliminate. And I have 2 times y plus 4. Another way you can think of this, which is what they do in the algebra class, is you have equivalent fractions here. When you have a fraction on this side and a fraction on this side. So basically, and we did that in one of our lessons, we just cross multiply to get them all lined up linearly instead of fractionally. So 3 times y, which we end up with here, and 2 times y plus 4, which we end up with here. So either way you think of it, we end up with 3y equals 2 times y plus 4. If you have questions on this method, on this step, please ask. But anyway, at this point, we're going to just simply distribute the 2 to the y and the positive 4. So I have 3y equals 2y plus 8. And I left off some steps here. I need my y's on the other side. So I'm simply going to subtract 2y from each side. So this goes away, and I'm left with just 8. 3y minus 2y is simply y. And now I don't have to do anything more because y equals 8. There you have it. You're going to practice some things doing, using this method, using these steps. Please get all of the steps down. Here at this point, when you come to equivalent fractions, you can do it the cross method or you can do it the common denominator method. Just remember, with common denominators, parts of it go away and you end up doing what you do in the cross method anyway. But this explains why you can do that cross multiplication to get equivalent fractional solutions. So if you look on page 125, your assignment is numbers 1 through 6. If you have any questions, please ask. If you need to rewatch the video, please do so. Make sure you get all the steps down. If you have questions, once again, if you have questions, please ask. Thank you and do good math.